YouTube, TTC, what's good, baby? AR10 with this draft recap. Shout out to everybody in the brotherhood. Shout out to the new draft picks. Shout out to the fans. Shout out to family of all those who got drafted. Coaches, staff, players. Man, shout out to y'all, man. I just got to keep it real, man. I'm going to keep it all the way 1,000, man. I don't agree with none of the draft picks, okay? Zero, all right? I don't agree with none of the draft picks. I don't know what direction the team is going in. Thomas, Rich McKay, Coach Quinn, Arthur Blank. I don't agree. I just got to keep it real. I don't agree with none of the picks. We didn't draft one old lineman, okay? You can have as many weapons you want on the outside, but if you don't draft one old lineman to protect the quarterback, those weapons don't matter, okay? You can have the best receivers, the best running back, but somebody's got to block for these dudes, all right? Matt Ryan, he's in for a big payday. We got one D lineman from South Florida that I don't think anybody has heard of. We got a linebacker. We got a corner. A couple receivers. The kid out of LSU. I looked at his highlights. He just ran a bunch of speed sweeps, jet sweeps. I didn't see him break for no, 85, 90-yard touchdowns. I don't know what his speed's like. Calvin Ridley, good route runner. But we don't need receivers, man. Why are we drafting receivers? Like, I don't understand it, man. Draft pass rushers. Draft 4 pass rushers. One of them obviously is going to be good. I mean, you got to get 1 out of 4, to pop to start or to be in a rotation to get a lot of snaps. Who's going to replace Adrian Claiborne snaps? Who's going to replace Dontari Poe snaps? You know what I'm saying? Is Levitre at left guard? Is Levitre all the way good at right guard, left guard? Alex Mack, how old is this guy? I mean, he's set to retire. We got like maybe 2 or 3 years out of him. So where's this replacement? You know what I'm saying? If Schrader or Matthews goes down, where's their replacement? Who's that swing tackle? We passed on Will Hernandez, one of the best linemen in the damn draft. Passed on him. I just don't understand it, man. I don't like that we passed on Taven Bryant. I'm sorry. Okay, he's a 1-year starter. He flashed, but he didn't get a lot of sacks, but blah, blah, blah. We passed on this guy, man. This guy was in the backfield constantly in college. He was super disruptive. 6'5", almost 300 pounds. I don't get it, man. We passed on the D lineman to tackle out of Stanford who had like over 100-something tackles. All kinds of tackles for loss. Passed on him. I mean, it's just on and on and on, man. I'd have been happy with an outside linebacker that can get to the quarterback. Tack goes down. Beasley goes down. Who's going to replace these guys? Like, what are y'all thinking drafting these freaking corners and receivers, man? Corners and receivers a dime a dozen, man. I mean, seriously. It's just frustrating as hell, man. Like, what is going through y'all minds, man? I mean, okay, we're going to pay Matt Ryan. We got a bunch of guys on there, second to last or last year of the contract, so we want to keep them. If they decide to leave, draft a replacement. Ito Smith, running back out of Southern Miss. I mean, I really don't know. I think this was like a experimental freaking special teams draft. You know what I'm saying? I looked at the press conference on the website, and Dimitroff and Quinn were just sitting there talking about special teams. What's going to happen when it's second and goal and we don't have no beef up front to push the D lineman back in order to get into the end zone? Do you realize who we play this year? We play the NFC East and the AFC North, okay? Those are freaking smash mouth teams. They're smash mouth teams, man. They're teams that line up 2-3 tight ends and they run right at your ass. And you know what's going to happen? We're not going to have the linemen to handle it. We're not going to have the beef up front at nose. You know, whether it's a 1 or a 3 technique, we're not going to have the beef up front to handle it, man. You know what I'm saying? Our linebackers are already small. Devondre Campbell's not big. Deion Jones is not big. Duke Riley, these aren't big dudes. You know what I'm saying? Our defense is predicated on speed and technique, right? So what's the best way to beat speed and technique? Is to take some 6'5", 300, 320-pound linemen and run right at you. And that's what teams are going to do. The Eagles are going to run right at us. The Cowboys run right at us. You know what I'm saying? The Giants, they got Barkley. They're going to run right at us. What are we going to do to stop these guys? We don't have the depth up front to even make the playoffs this year. It's just ridiculous, man. I want us to win games. I want to see the team win games and be successful. But if you don't bring in the right players or draft the right players, what do you expect? You're just going to line up some, undrafted free agent at guard or tackle with no experience, right? I mean, there's kids out of college, no experience. We're going to get them on the cheap, line them up at guard or tackle, line them up at D tackle or DN and expect him to freaking play right away if somebody gets hurt. It's stupid. I mean, this has been the story for the Falcons since 2012 when we went to the NFC Championship. Back then, I mean, we had some big linemen, some big D linemen. You know what I mean? We had a running back in Michael Turner, to play smash mouth football, but we don't have it no more. And it shows. It shows in the red zone. It shows when teams line up and just run the ball right at us. We don't have the speed to stop. I mean, we don't have the strength to stop them. We had a speed. We had a technique. We just sit back, rush forward, drop 7, play cover 3. Don't give up no deep passes. Have our athletic linebackers get in the passing lanes and hopefully, cover the tight ends and backs. That sounds good, but if you can't stop the run on 1st and 2nd down and it's 3rd and short, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man. Teams are going to maul us this year. They're going to maul us because Quinn and Dimitroff decide to draft freaking receivers, running backs, and damn corners, man. I don't understand it, man. It's frustrating as hell. I give our draft grade a D, simply based on the Calvin Ridley pick. I mean, he's explosive. He's got good speed. I'm still questionable about his hands. He had 20 drops in 3 years. So, people say, well, look at his quarterback. Jalen Hurts and the Hawaiian kid, I mean, they weren't, necessarily good quarterbacks and blah, blah, blah. But still, man, 20 drops in 3 years. It's going to be the same old thing come August, September, October. Off the receiver's hands into the defender's hands. It's going to be the same old garbage, man. So that's my rant. I don't agree with the draft. I give us a D in the draft. If we didn't draft Calvin Ridley, I would give us an F. You know what I'm saying? I'm really upset right now. I don't know, man. I don't know what these guys are thinking, man. Maybe they were hanging out with Sark before the draft and got drunk and then, just start doing all kinds of garbage. But anyway, AR10, check it out. Y'all take it easy.